People get kind of scared of these snakes. They're misunderstood creatures, but once you get to know them and you get to actually play around with them, they're actually not that bad. Hi, my name is Anthony Velasquez. I'm a reptile enthusiast and I'm hoping to become a reptile breeder in the near future. Well, my first experience with a snake or any type of reptile was when I was about 7 or 8 years old. I went down to the lake with my family and I saw this guy walking down the street with an albino Burmese python down on his shoulders. It was roughly about maybe like 9 or 10 feet and it would weigh maybe about like 40 pounds around there. I came up to him and asked if I could pet it, and he told me it was actually okay. He started holding it by the head and I just started petting its body. And most people say snakes are really slimy, they're scaly, that they feel really weird, but when you actually pet one, it's actually pretty smooth and they're not slimy at all. I was surprised to see somebody with a snake like that, like just as a pet. He told me that he keeps all kinds of stuff at his house, so I started going to pet stores after that and just started seeing all these different snakes and different type of animals being sold there as pets. So eventually I started buying little stuff little by little and just started bringing them home. At first I started buying like different types of geckos and stuff I started buying like bearded dragons too, and had tarantulas at home, centipedes. I had a lot of different stuff. You could probably name it, I probably had it at home. I started off with a bunch of different stuff at first and mostly just keeping it as pets. I didn't really know that you could really make a business out of it, just breeding animals. So everything at first was pretty much just a pet. I wasn't really trying to make any money out of them, although I was investing a lot in them. I did have a few snakes that I was planning on breeding, but I wasn't thinking I was gonna go pretty big with it. So I actually had a few snakes that I bought males and females, and I was trying to see what I was gonna pair up with what, so I could make certain babies that I wanted to make. And this one time I actually came across this guy that he gave me a pretty good deal, but the deal turned out to be too good to be true. The 3 snakes were actually ended up being sick. That's why he was trying to get rid of them. And at first I was still a beginner. I didn't really know a lot about this stuff, so I didn't know how to catch the respiratory infection. And it started affecting the rest of my collection I had. And at one point I lost a lot of my snakes, and when that happened I just started getting rid of I lost maybe about roughly like maybe $4,000 in snakes. So I started getting kind of mad and like a little bit like I didn't believe in myself anymore and actually keeping all this stuff. After the infection, I almost got out of the hobby completely, and I just kept going back to the expo to get rats and to get food for the snakes that actually did survive the infection, anything that still made it. And since I had to feed them, I kept seeing all these other animals over there at the expo, and I can't really be without these little guys. So I decided to get back into it, and that's when I bought the rest of the snakes. But what I decided to do this time differently was just I was only going to buy stuff I was planning on breeding. I have a couple of snakes that are still pets, but eventually they'll probably turn into breeders. What I hope to accomplish with my hobby is actually to be able to open up my own warehouse and just fill it up with a bunch of racks and stuff and a bunch of snakes. There's some big breeders out there who actually breed about 30,000 snakes a year, and in their whole facility probably own about 200,000 snakes in there. So that's kind of one of my big dreams, and one of the things as a breeder that you hope to accomplish is to make a new morph, make a new color that nobody else has created yet. So I'm kind of hoping to maybe sometime in the future create a world's first snake.
What do you find?
I have no fucking clue. That's a hard ass name to come up with.